After coming out of the dance floor, sure she was ready to find a place to eat. She hadn't eaten anything all night. She had only eaten a few strawberry puddings in the afternoon, and now she was so hungry that her stomach was growling. However, sure she was too famous in Feng City's socialite circle, so many girls came up to her and chatted with her. Sure she could only perfunctorily deal with them one by one. Finally, there was no one else around. Sure she picked up a grape-style egg tart and was about to bite down when the egg tart in her hand was snatched away. Han Chuan snatched the egg tart from her hand and said coldly, "You're almost as fat as a pig, and you're still eating such high-calorie desserts? How am I fat?" Sure she touched her flat belly. "Look, it's all flat. Your arms aren't meat? Your legs aren't meat? Your face isn't meat?" Han Chuan ate the egg tart that he had snatched and said, "At most, you can eat an apple and 2 pieces of lettuce at night." Sure she was indignant and clenched her fists, wanting to resist. Han Chuan said, "Or do you want the audience to complain that the female supporting actress is getting fatter and fatter every day after Overbearing Love is released? That there won't even be enough room on the screen?" Sure she was speechless and held back her tears. When she was on set, she had observed that the other actors ate very little in order to look better on camera. Some actors were so skinny in reality that they would lose their looks, but they would still look fat on camera. They were scolded by the netizens again and again. Sure she did not like eating apples. At this moment, she could only look at her beloved strawberry pudding with longing eyes. It was too pitiful. Just as Sure She's eyes were filled with desire, Tao Yuxuan's arrogant and despotic voice sounded from the other side. "Eh? You don't know how to play the piano? I'm really sorry. This is a compulsory course for us. I thought you knew how to play it too," Tao Yuxuan said apologetically. However, there was not a hint of apology in her tone. Instead, her tone was even more ostentatious. "Then what musical instrument do you know? Suana?" Sure she listened from afar and thought to herself, "I'll play the suona for you. I'll send you away directly so that the female protagonist won't have to make a move." However, Tao Yuxuan was too quick to stir up trouble. When Sure she heard it, she did not have the time to stop her. She could only resign herself to fate and walk over, hoping that she would be able to collect Tao Yuxuan's corpse in one piece. "Do you have a guzheng?" Ningyu's voice was indifferent. "Oh? You know guzheng?" Tao Yuxuan's ending tone was raised. She smiled and said, "It just so happens that the Sure family has a guzheng. Why don't you play a song?" Ningyu really knew how to play guzheng. Sure she walked forward and the guzheng was already brought over. Under the watchful eyes of everyone, it was naturally impossible to fake it. Ningyu sat in front of the guzheng and tested the tune. The pitch was correct. Ningyu pressed on the strings and played the hook. The sound of the guzheng was slow and quiet. The guests present quieted down and were immersed in the elegant music. Sure she looked at Tao Yuxuan. The latter's lips curled up slightly and her eyes were filled with confidence and contempt. Sigh, how tragic. Sure she did not look at Tao Yuxuan anymore. She was afraid that this child would be hit too hard. Tao Yuxuan lifted her chin slightly and waited for the sound to be broken. She knew that Ningyu could play the guzheng, so she deliberately provoked Ningyu to play the guzheng. But that guzheng had already been tampered with by her. She wouldn't notice it during the sound check. Only when she was halfway through playing it would she realize. Halfway through playing the instrument, Ningyu noticed that there was something wrong with the guzheng string in the middle. Her eyes quickly swept across the guzheng string, and she immediately understood that the problem didn't lie in the guzheng string, but in the unstable pillar. It was really troublesome to target her. Ningyu's expression didn't change. She pressed down on the guzheng string and continued playing the next part. The perfect and smooth tune poured out without a single flaw. When the last note was played, everyone applauded. "I didn't expect Miss Ning to play the guzheng so well. It's as if listening to the music of an immortal. She's really amazing." The smile on Tao Yuxuan's face disappeared completely. She stood there in a daze. How was that possible? She had clearly tampered with the string. Why was Ningyu playing so fluently? Tao Yuxuan stood rooted to the ground in shock. Sure she clapped silently as she witnessed everything, thinking to herself, "Don't even think about framing the female lead." It was useless. Tao Yuxuan refused to believe it and took a step forward. "The tone of this guzheng is really good." Ningyu stood up. Tao Yuxuan stretched out her hand and picked the strings of the guzheng at the spot where the strings had been tampered with. Bang! The string of the guzheng instantly burst open, and the sound of the guzheng strings reverberated. The scene instantly became awkward. Sure she pretended that nothing had happened and said, "Carry the guzheng down. The banquet will continue." Ningyu laughed lightly. Her ice-like eye swept past Tao Yuxuan and Sure she. Her gaze paused for a moment before she averted her gaze. Such a low-level scheme had really made it hard for her, them? Ningyu knew that Tao Yuxuan must have had a hand in the tampering with the guzheng. Was Sure she involved as well? The banquet went on as usual. Because of Tao Yuxuan's encouragement, the guests had a deeper understanding of Ningyu. I didn't expect Ningyu to be so beautiful and be able to play such a good tune. To be able to play such a tune, her learning must be pretty good. She went to school at number 13 high school, so she probably learned the guzheng at the last minute. What does it matter if her learning is good or not? The Sure family can afford it anyway. Sure, she heard the whispers of the people around her and felt extremely bored. She was the female lead. The god of learning. Did they know what the god of learning was? Tao Yuxuan hovered beside Shirshi and said indignantly, "You're from number 1 high school. She went to number 13 high school. How can she be better than you?" "That's enough. Her test results have nothing to do with us. Stop looking for trouble with her," Shirshi reminded her. If it weren't for the fact that they were in the same female team, Shirshi wouldn't even bother to remind her. "You were just too kind. That's why you were bullied by others," Tao Yuxuan said with heartache. "Don't talk like that. I don't want to be a White Lotus." Sure, she connected the dots and realized that she was really a White Lotus supporting actress. "Sobi, Sobi, Sobi. I'm going to rest for a while. What about you?" Sure, she was thinking about how to break up with Tao Yuxuan. She couldn't stay with the supporting actress anymore. Otherwise, she would become cannon fodder sooner or later. "I'll go with you." Tao Yuxuan held Shirshi's arm affectionately, as if they were good sisters. Forget it, putting the female cannon fodder in front of her was better than asking her to look for the female lead. Shirshi went straight to her room and began to rummage through her things. "What are you looking for?" Tao Yuxuan asked. "Snacks. I'm starving." Shirshi rummaged through the drawer, trying to find a bite to eat. During the banquet, Han Chuan kept staring at her, afraid that she would take a bite of the hot food. "The snacks should be in the living room. You never put these in your room." Tao Yuxuan was worthy of being the host's good friend, she knew this very well. Shirshi lay on the sofa, living a life worse than death. Tao Yuxuan said in a low voice, Shishi, are you just going to watch as Ningyu takes away your things bit by bit?" Shirshi looked at the ceiling. These were hers to begin with. I just returned them to her. Tao Yuxuan was at a loss for words. Clearly, she had not expected Shirshi to say this. "But, you've been in the Sure family for 18 years. You and Xing Yan have been childhood sweethearts. At least, you can't just hand Xing Yan over to her, right?" Tao Yuxuan thought hard. "Then," she said, "at least, you need some shares of the company or something to guarantee your future life, right?" When Shirshi heard the first "at least," her heart tightened. When she heard the second "at least," she just wanted to die in the same place. Enjoying this story so far? Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to this channel for more videos. The more likes and views, the faster and more videos I can make. All done? Now let's continue. It had to be said that Tao Yuxuan was a qualified supporting actress. She directly asked Shirshi to fight for the two most important things with the female lead. Xing Yan was the male lead. How could she fight for him? Moreover, if she really accepted the shares, she would probably end up throwing herself into the river and feeding the fish. Forget it. She would rather take 200,000 yuan of pocket money every month and film in the entertainment industry. At least she would be safe. Sure, she did not want to take any more risks. Shouldn't they at least give you 5% of the shares? Tao Yuxuan was still calculating. My parents wanted to give me their shares, but I rejected them. Tao Yuxuan widened her eyes and looked at Shirshi as if she was looking at a fool. Are you stupid? Why don't you want it? Tao Yuxuan wished that she could help Shirshi sign her name. Don't tell me you still want to give Xing Yan away. Uncle Sheng is bald. Tao Yuxuan was stunned for a moment. Ah? Shirshi said bluntly, I'm afraid that Xing Yan will be bald in the future. I don't like it. Silence. It was the sofa for tonight. I didn't expect Xing Yan to be bald in the future, even though he looks like that. Tao Yuxuan imagined Xing Yan being bald. She bit her hand and muttered to herself, baldness is inherited. If your son is bald, I don't want to marry my daughter to your son. Shirshi, you're thinking too much. Why don't you think about how long you can live? I won't get engaged to Xing Yan. As for the shares of the Sure family, what should belong to me, no one can snatch them away. If they aren't mine, I won't take them either. Shirshi sat up with a smile on her face. Shirshi was not a saint. As long as she could guarantee her own safety, she would accept the help of the Sure family. It's good that you're aware of that. In any case, we can't let that person take advantage of us. Tao Yuxuan could not stand Ningyu. She always acts like a street thug. She really doesn't have the bearing of a noble lady. Do you? Shirshi could not help but ask. Tao Yuxuan, no. Silence. It was the atmosphere of the night. Let's go downstairs. The banquet is almost over. Tao Yuxuan looked at the time and asked, oh right, I'm planning to travel abroad. What about you? Sure, she said weakly, have you forgotten? I'm still on set. Tao Yuxuan said, haha, I almost forgot. You're going to be a big star, so I won't bother you anymore. Wait for me to bring you back a gift. Sure, she said sincerely, spending more time overseas is the best gift you can give me. As long as Tao Yuxuan did not seek death, she believed that she would not offend Ningyu. With such a good friend instigating her, who would have a healthy mind? Just as sure she was about to leave the room, she felt a sudden pain in her head. She held onto the door to stabilize her body. Tao Yuxuan turned around to look at her. What's wrong? The pain in her head surged like a tidal wave and disappeared in an instant. Sure, she took a deep breath. It's nothing. It's probably because I've been too tired recently. Tao Yuxuan mumbled, rest well. The Sure family is so rich. It's not bad to support you. Why go to the entertainment industry to suffer? Sure, she smiled and did not say anything. No matter how rich the Sure family was, it was not hers. She was already luckier than many people to be able to use the Sure family's influence to gain a foothold in the entertainment industry. The two of them came down from upstairs and realized that the atmosphere was not right. A servant of the Sure family was surrounded in the middle and said aggrievedly, when I entered Miss Ning's room to clean, I saw this torn dress. It was a custom-made dress for Miss Ning. I didn't expect Miss Ning to be so ungrateful. Standing on the stairs, Sure, she happened to see a cut on the dress. The cut was smooth. It was definitely done on purpose with a knife. For a moment, the crowd was whispering. I didn't expect her to do such a thing. It's not strange for a little gangster sister to do anything. Even if she's a real daughter, she developed such a character in the remote countryside. We can't be friends with her in the future. Education is still more important. Isn't Sure she much better than Ningyu? It's a pity that she was chased out by the Sure family. Everyone looked at Ningyu with disdain. None of them thought highly of her actions. She had actually torn the clothes that her biological mother had given her. When Sure she saw this situation, she roughly understood the situation on the stage. I wonder which brave cannon fodder is going to die so generously? Isn't it good to be alive? Why do you want to die? Let's go and eat some melons. Sure, she pulled Tao Yuxuan along, showing her the consequences of seeking death. Eating melons makes it easy to gain weight. Did your manager ask you to eat them? Sure, she didn't know if she'd laugh or cry. She wasn't hungry at first, but with her reminder, she suddenly felt hungry. Angry. The audience was still tugging at each other because of the incident of Ningyu tearing the dress. Mother Sure was very angry. If you don't like it, you can just say it. Why did you ruin the dress? Haven't I treated you well enough? She didn't like Ningyu to begin with. Today, on account of Sure, she gave Ningyu 200,000 yuan as pocket money. In the end, Ningyu tore the custom-made dress. People from small places were not easy to teach. Ningyu chuckled and narrowed her cold eyes. You believed her just because she said that I had torn it? Mother Sure was used to being a noble lady, and it was rare for her to be contradicted like this. At this moment, her aura was oppressive. Then tell me, when I gave you the dress yesterday, it was still fine. Why is it torn now? The dress is torn. Someone must have torn it, Sure, she could not help but say from the side. That may not necessarily be Ningyu's fault. Pull up the surveillance footage and see who entered Ningyu's room during that period of time. We'll know who did it. Ningyu nodded. Sure. Mother Sure said, the maid will go in to clean the room. You'll definitely say that the maid tore the dress. I've already let you say it. Ningyu pursed her lips. She did not tear the dress. But now, she actually could not prove her innocence. It was really funny. She was Madame Sure's biological daughter, but Madame Sure was willing to believe the maid. She was also unwilling to believe her. Just take it that I cut myself. Ningyu tilted her head slightly. How will Madame Sure punish me? Although the young girl had a smile on her face, that smile did not reach her eyes. Instead, it was bone-piercing cold. Sure, she, who was eating melons, rubbed her chin. That was not right. The female lead could not have failed. Was there still a backup plan? Because of Sure, the plot had already started to deviate. Even Sure, who had read the original novel, did not know what would happen next. Ding! Please complete the female supporting storyline mission, frame the female lead. Sure, tilted her head to look at Tao Yuxuan and asked in confusion, what did you say? Tao Yuxuan was even more confused than she was. I didn't say anything. Sure, muttered to herself, could it be that I'm hallucinating? System, hello, host. I'm the female supporting system. You can communicate with me directly in your heart. Please complete the female supporting storyline mission immediately. Sure, was silent, wondering if she should ignore this voice. Female supporting storyline mission, framing the female lead, none of these words sounded good. Not to mention immediately. Only items that were about to expire would be sold immediately. The system went crazy. I can hear your heart. Don't pretend like you can't hear me. Sure, she continued to remain silent. Since that's the case, then I'll have to play dead. If I ignore it, it should be quiet. I absolutely cannot frame the female protagonist and treat her as a dead female supporting character. In the end, I'll have to follow the old path of sinking the river to feed the fish. The system noticed Shirshi's fear of death and snorted. If you don't complete the female supporting storyline mission, you'll die right now. Shirshi continued to ignore the system. Do you remember the feeling of a headache just now? If you fail the mission, you will be punished with a headache. If you fail 3 times, your character will be K*led. Hearing that it was threatening her life, Shirshi finally replied to the system. I am an important female supporting role. How can you K*l me? I can find another host. The little follower beside you is not bad. Shirshi glanced at Tao Yuxuan beside her. How is this pretty good? If it was released to Tao Yuxuan, she would be like a vicious supporting actress. There was no need for her to send out any supporting actress script. Shirshi said straightforwardly, then you can look for her. A dead fellow Taoist will never die. I'm sorry, Tao Yuxuan. I'll choose a good coffin for you. The system said faintly, the condition for me to look for the next host is, the previous host dies. Nanny? The system said, so, you can go and die first. If you die, I can go and find your little follower. Are you *king kidding me? Shirshi was furious. It kept going around and around, insisting that she complete the mission. The system said impatiently, hurry up, can you do it? Shirshi was furious, of course I can't. A real woman, daring to face her own inability. Shirshi was so confident that even the system was stunned. The system said regretfully, if only you were as imposing in front of the female protagonist. Shirshi instantly fell silent. While the two of them were conversing, the matter on the stage was about to be moved on. It was probably because Mother Shi did not trust Ningyu, so Shi Su and Xingyan spoke up for Ningyu, and Mother Shi decided to move on. However, this way, Ningyu's reputation as an ingrate had completely spread throughout Feng City. Shirshi asked, look, there's no need for me to frame her. The female protagonist has already suffered enough from being framed. The system cheered her on. I know you won't frame the female protagonist, so what you need to do is to save her from being framed. Shirshi was confused. What did you say? System, female supporting storyline mission. Admit that you framed the female protagonist and restore her reputation. Shirshi gritted her teeth. I didn't frame her. The system was silent for a moment. I know. Sigh. Shirshi understood. The female protagonist couldn't possibly fail. So, she could only let her, the female supporting role, fail. Just as the matter of the dress was about to end, Shirshi came out with a dark face. I was the one who asked someone to tear the dress. Shirshi raised her chin slightly. Her originally fair face had a dark expression on it. I was afraid that Ningyu would return to the Shi family and snatch away my parents' love, so. I was wrong. I'm sorry. When Shirshi opened her mouth, everyone present was stunned. It wasn't that they were surprised that Shirshi would frame Ningyu. It was that they were surprised at the timing when Shirshi opened her mouth. Ningyu couldn't find any evidence to prove that she wasn't the one who cut the gown. This matter was about to be moved on, yet Shirshi opened her mouth to defend Ningyu. This? What kind of earth-shattering sisterhood was this? She was willing to sacrifice her own reputation in order to protect Ningyu's reputation? Xingyan was the one who invited Ningyu to the opening dance. Could it also be Shirshi's suggestion? A daughter raised by Shi family is really different from a wild one. Shirshi is so protective of Ningyu, yet Ningyu actually wants to chase Shirshi out. TSK, the morals of the world are declining day by day.